I'm Zoe Wallace, and at the age of 25 I found out I had advanced cervical cancer.
I'm Lily, I'm 22. A biopsy found that I had precancerous cells on my cervix.
I'm Sophie Dimitriadis. When I was 23, I had a smear test that found abnormal cells.
Since 2003, women in both England and Wales must be 25 in order to access a cervical screening test. The government increased the age from 20 to 25 because they say the risks of screening younger women outweigh the benefits. The problem is, women under the age of 25 still get cervical cancer. In fact, cervical cancer is the most common form of cancer in women under the age of 35. There have been a number of high-profile cases where young women have died after being denied screenings based on their age. Cervical cancer is caused by the human papillomavirus, otherwise known as HPV. Cervical screening detects for HPV and abnormal cells, which, if left untreated, could develop into cancer. Zoe was living in Australia when she found out she had stage 3 advanced cancer. Zoe couldn't have a smear test before she left for her travels because she wasn't old enough. This meant her cancer was left undetected until she turned 25.
In the space of 3 months, it's gone from house, car, perfect job, everything, beach, sun, to I spent, well, up until a couple of weeks ago, I spent the last, nearly 3 months every day in hospital having treatment. So obviously at 25 you don't expect that. If I'd had a smear test done 3 years ago, I would have picked up that I had abnormal cells. I don't know, actually, they can't tell obviously how long exactly you've had it, but 3 years ago I would have shown that I had something.
When Zoe first went to her GP with symptoms, she was given an STI check rather than a smear test.
I think it shouldn't just be ruled out for other things because of your age. Like at 60 years old, they wouldn't rule it down to an STI, they'd rule it down to cervical cancer. But at 25 or 24, they rule it down to something else because they think, because it's such a minority of people that actually get it that young, that they think, yes, surely it can't be that.
This raises the question, are young women being overlooked because of their age, or is there a wider issue of women's reproductive health not being taken seriously? Tanya Adib is a leading gynaecologist who feels vaginal health is ignored within society.
Having a regular gynaecological checkup means you're examined, you can talk to your gynaecologist about symptoms, and issues can be picked up earlier. I'd really like to see that being introduced more in this country.
Women under the age of 25 can only access smear tests if they have private healthcare. Tanya's patient Lily Bailey did just this and discovered she had precancerous cells.
I felt I would have to go privately because I knew that if I'd gone to my GP they wouldn't have offered me a smear. I was lucky enough to be able to pay £100 and go privately because I can, but a lot of 22-year-olds wouldn't be able to.
I put these criticisms to NHS England. They refused to give me an interview, but they did provide me with this statement.
Screening women under the age of 25 may do more harm than good, as it can lead to unnecessary and harmful investigations and treatments. Research has shown if women suffer unnecessary treatment, this could have an adverse effect on their future childbearing. In women under 25, therefore, this risk outweighs any benefit.
Cancer Research UK does also support the government's findings.
Is the National Screening Committee, and they looked at the age range in 2012, and they looked at all of the evidence, started from scratch. They found that it's likely that more harms would be experienced by women under 25 than those above.
But not everyone agrees about the benefits of a universal screening age.
In an ideal world, it would be great to start screening people at 20, but then the additional costs of screening people under the age of 25, the cost per cancer detected would be extremely high. And then you have to look at, okay, well, we're going to spend that money on screening people under the age of 25. Well, that means we don't have the money for, heart bypass surgeries, or we don't have that money for hip replacements.
Public Health England do not include the financial implications of the policy. But with the NHS under immense financial pressure, it seems unlikely that costs would not have played a factor in their final decision. Some MPs are also calling for a change in the policy, one that's not based on age.
Young women have a particular place in our society at the moment where often they are dismissed. There are lots of forces in society that are set up to undermine young women. So please, let's not have the NHS be one of them.
It took me to see a proper gynaecologist to obviously get a proper diagnosis. A smear test obviously made me go and do that. But yeah, that's if everyone can't have a gynecologist that specialises in women's health, then a smear test is the next best option. And I think everyone that wants it, maybe you shouldn't always be bought, go and have it at 20, but if someone goes to the doctors and is worried about something and says, I want a smear test, they should be given it.
Although a vaccine was introduced in 2008 to prevent teenagers from contracting the HPV virus, what does this mean for women like Zoe? Too old to receive the vaccine, yet too young to receive a smear. As we've seen, women are falling through the gap, and a blanket ban policy is not the answer. Instead, the government should amend the current policy so that women are able to be given a choice as to whether to receive a smear or not, rather than being denied one purely based on their age, rather than at times on their symptoms.
It'd just be nice to get back to normal, and then hopefully I'll be able to stay over there for the rest of my life, so cancer-free.